wanted to ask you about how many times in the last 20 years has this rivalry been brought up in schedule, or this not rivalry, but matchup?
Yeah, not rivalry because we haven't played it since '79. But it's been one that I just thought would be great for college basketball and great for the two programs. And but there's been extenuating circumstances every time that we started to get close. Some weird things happen, like they changed conferences, or we changed number of games, or Mike and I are good friends, and but yet him and Amaker were better. So then all of a sudden they played together. So they played the Michigan Notre Dame one, and I just think whenever a rivalry is really good in football, or whenever schools are of this size are so close together, I think it's a healthy, good event, especially when both programs have great respect for each other, and I think that's the key.
Is it? It seems more even advantageous for them to play it, given where the programs have been. Are they sort of willing to do that, or has it been more on their end not doing it over time?
No, I think it's been more on the whole, early on when they had different coaches there, it was more on just the way the scheduling went. And then when they changed conferences those couple of times, that really created some issues where it was hard for them. They were already playing Purdue and Indiana, I believe, at one time. And so I don't think it's more advantageous for them than us. I think it's advantageous for both of us personally. And just travel alone. You think of the travel we've just been on. I'd rather travel a couple hours on bus than go through what we've gone through so far. So hopefully it'll be something that we'll be able to do more than once.
A day later, has Brandon had a chance to kind of step back and look at how things
Yeah, he has. And what I'm trying to be a little cautious of is, as if you interviewed him, you can hear he's still coughing. I mean, it's been a frustrating situation for him, for us, because I think if he does the things that I know he can do, I say we win that game. I really do. And that's a lot to put on a guy, but at the same time, he doesn't play 2 games. He does have 103 temperature. You don't come off that and be good. He just looked like he wasn't focused in on what he had to do, but sometimes he lets a shot or miss shot. I could have cared less about the shots. It was the other things that created the problems. And still he gets 9 rebounds, not even working. So it's, I think he understands it sometimes. I don't think he understands it on a day-to-day basis, and that's what we're working on. We're going to go up there. Him and I are going to look at the film together, just me and him, and we're just going to keep grinding at it till we get it done, because I know he wants to be, the player that I think he can be. I just don't think he's a good self-evaluator, which most guys aren't. They don't see it the same way a coach does, or a media member, or an NBA guy, or somebody else. They see it through different colored glasses. Sometimes I think they got complete shades on.
How did Ellis look today, and what you guys?
The first time he did anything. We suited him up in the 2 of the last 4 games just for precautionary measures for us. That was the most. I was shocked how much he did today. We got to really see now tomorrow, but I'm hoping we could use him if we have to, but it'll be minimum use because we get through this week and now we got a week off, and then I think we'd really be in business for both guys. But I was surprised how much he did today, to be honest with you.
Did Bess just get that boot off his foot? Is that
Yeah, right the day we left.
Okay.
Yeah, day we left, and the X-rays all showed great, and now you got a couple weeks of, doing different things and a little bit more each day. NCO, it responds to that, and he too. I'm hoping when we come off finals, we'll be able to at least. Alvin, I think, should be 90% by then, but JB is going to probably be a little while longer, but I think he'll be able to start playing, start practicing a little bit by then.
Do you talk to him about not trying to come back too early, given the experiences with Russ or anything like that, about being honest with you and stuff?
Yeah, I leave that more to the doctors, but this kid, he's kind of like BJ from the standpoint of he seems to be healing quick. He would have played with a boot on the other day, and so I'm going to talk to him about it, but I'm leaving more of that to the doctors and to his not pain tolerance, because I don't want to have to tolerate pain, but whether he has any pain in it. The way the X-rays showed at the 4-month, that's why or 4-week, that's why they took the boot off. It was really, really good. So, yeah, I'm not taking any chances with either guy, but as you know, we need him back. It's been really hard on Travis, and I kind of gave him a day off today, and Drew. So when I look at the whole thing, where we are, I'm still having trouble figuring it out. Why wouldn't you when you don't have key guys? But I kind of like, we learned some things on this trip. I mean, I thought Marquette punched us in the mouth, and I thought we were more physical in the last game. I just thought you miss 6-7 layups, 6 or 7. You're going to shoot 30-some%. And then I think because of the personnel we had in there, I think both Travis and Zell took a couple bad shots because thinking they have to do that, and we didn't look very good offensively the second half. I think they had something to do with it, but we had a lot to do with it ourselves. But if I look at the big picture of the whole thing, I think we played better than I thought we would under the circumstances. So I think there's more positive for me than negative, which doesn't happen very often.
Alan, why did you decide to go with Gavin at the start on Sunday?
Well, a couple of reasons. Number one, I wasn't ecstatic by the way Matt had played, but maybe more importantly, ironically too, he's getting those fouls again. And I thought maybe if I, although I think, my mother would have gotten fouls the way they were calling them this week, and she's 88. So that was probably 3/4 of it. The other was 1/4 of it. And, it worked okay, but both those guys, one played 2, one played 7 minutes. It was, wasn't good.
How important is this game?
Well, it's hard for me to put as much importance on it as there should be put on it when I still got some guys trying to get back, and I'm not using that as an excuse, but I'm including Brandon in there, and I'm including, Bryn is better and better, but I want him to get that thing off because it makes a difference for a guard, just dribbling the ball and everything and catching it, and it looks like they want to keep it on and minimize it one more time by taking the one off his finger. So, I think what's important is we play hard and we play well. But they're playing well right now if you watch them on film, and it's going to be a big game down there. So the pressure of the game as far as the big picture, I want to win because I want to win. I'm not going to put that on this team yet because I think we're playing well enough in spurts to be pretty good and maybe really good if we get everything rolling. Just having Alvin back today, there was, I don't know how many were here for any of it, but he just looked better. The ball got moving more, We've done a poor job of moving the ball in the last couple games, and I think it's because guys don't have confidence, We got poor Trevor in there for a couple minutes in the first half. When we called his name, he didn't know what the hell to do, to be honest with you. And that was, we've had a couple of moments like that over my career. That was one that'll go in the book. Just the look on his face, and when he got a rebound, he was more surprised than I was. But I think we got to keep moving forward. But I've said all along, I don't know where we're at because of the situation, and I don't know. That's why I don't know how much to put on this. But we're going down there to win a game. I can promise you that.
Tom, have you taken more positives than negatives from this tough opening stretch of games that you scheduled?
Every time I take a couple positives, then I look at someone who's not playing as hard as he should, and then it's a big negative because that's unexcusable. And yet then I try to figure out why, and there's always a reason here, a reason there. You look back at the Duke game, Forbes had that, he had that thing locked, and am I that dumb that I'm going to think he's going to be able to play well with that as a guard? We go back to Morris Peterson. So Morris wasn't a starter, and Morris was maybe an 18-minute-a-game player when he did it, and Morris was a forward, and it was different. So, I've taken more positives out of the whole thing, but I was disappointed on Sunday because I just thought if we had our core people all playing well, we win that game. and that's a win over a pretty good, very, very talented team. But I think he's got some issues too, that he's trying to work through. So that's what the preseason's for. I thought the best learning game was the Marquette game. So that was a plus. Duke game, of course, was a plus. So you got 3 games out of your first 6 or 7 that were, major factors in letting you know what you got to do and maybe letting them know, more importantly. I think it's a good experience. But I do got to tell you, this will be 6 and 13 days, and that's the other reason I'm trying to figure out. We had a decent practice today, but we're trying to do more mental than physical. The problem is when you go through a stretch like this, you get physically beat up too. I knew there was a reason I wanted to be a football coach. This is it.
Is that why you had Trice taken off or out today?
Yeah, he had tweaked his ankle early, but yeah, that was predetermined before practice. Zell, I maybe should have too, but Zell doesn't weigh 100 and something. He's he's got real meat on his bones.
I read somewhere you and Mariucci had a bet about who would coach Notre Dame first.
Yeah, that was our goal back then. The only TV you got up there was the replays of the Notre Dame game. So you kind of grew up, Notre Dame fans a little bit until we got old enough to realize there's a couple guys that happened to go to Michigan State, and then his dad went to Michigan State. So we changed, but that was definitely in high school and that's what even college a little bit, I should say, we talked about that, and but I'm glad I'm here.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Are easy.